This is a Headgum original.
In 1977, NASA sent 2 solid gold records into space so that aliens might find them and understand life on Earth.
I send greetings on behalf of the people of our planet and friendly wishes to all who may encounter this Voyager.
Now, we're making new records with our friends.
We step out of our solar system into the universe seeking only peace and friendship. We know full well that our planet and all its inhabitants are but a small part of this immense universe that surrounds us.
Hello from the children of planet Earth.
Well. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. What have you been up to today?
Working.
Nice.
I went to I bought wine.
What kind?
Orange. Now,
I had almost zero idea you were going to say that. I've heard colors of wines before. Red, white. I've even heard names of wines. I can't think of one. Merlot.
orange wine you're thinking made out of an orange. I'm pretty certain that's not the case.
So you're specifically just talking about the color of the wine.
Yeah, but it's called orange wine, like on the bottle. If you went and got it from the kitchen, it says orange wine.
Is the bottle orange or is the wine orange?
Both.
Well, how do you know? Did you pour some already?
You can't see through glass?
Well, if the glass is orange, how do you know it's not just tinting? I think I'm making a really good point. Okay, so I'm saying, is the wine colored orange or is the bottle colored orange?
Okay, I've had orange wine before, so I'm telling you the wine itself is
so
orange.
You know that when you pour it out of the bottle, it's going to be orange.
Yeah.
Does it taste like oranges?
No.
Not even a little bit?
Not in my experience, but I've only had it like twice, so maybe some.
Where do you think the name comes from?
The color from before.
But why would they make it that color if it wasn't even going to taste like an oranges?
I gotta be honest, I feel like it's more of just like the way nature handled it than anything else. Huh. Like certain grapes just like end up being orange in the process.
That is interesting.
So
I'm sober.
Right.
So that's probably why I'm sounding so dumb right now.
Don't make it seem like I'm being like really insensitive. You're not sober for a problem.
Well, I don't want to talk about this anymore because I'm sober.
Don't make it seem like I'm being really insensitive.
No, I just think that's why I'm so dumb and I'm really fascinated.
Caleb says I'm sober in
the bad way.
You can't say that.
I can say that. I'm sober. I can talk about sober people however I want. And I'm saying there's being sober like I am, which is just in the no reason way, and then there's being sober because you needed to get sober, and there's a difference.
Yeah, and if it was in the bad way, and I came in and you said, how are you? And I said, well, only can talk about
guzzling
alcohol.
Wine today.
For me, it's only alcohol and alcohol only.
Well, I would say good for you. I would say I'm happy for you.
I think if I could only ever talk about alcohol, I would need to be sober in the bad way.
I would actually be worried about you.
What's up with you?
Well, I've been trying to read books, as you know. Mm-hmm. I read a book last night trying to fall asleep, and I did fall asleep. I went to sleep at like 9 o'clock, and I was like, I'm going to get up really early. And
did
I
you?
didn't do that today.
Yeah.
I slept 12 hours.
I didn't hear you wake up early.
Yeah, I didn't get up early. I still got up at like 9, but I wanted to get up at like 7.
I woke up at like 6 a.m. To the sound of, and this is haunting to me, the sound of like, you know, when you turn volume up on something and it has like a click, like it's like
I'll take your word for it.
No, like it's an electronic sound of we're turning up the volume.
No, I don't think I'm tracking it.
Okay, turn your like if you're, it's the same kind of sound like if the volume was up on your phone, like sound on and you were typing, how it clicks. That, but for like going around a circle.
Like on the old iPods.
Yeah, exactly that.
Okay.
I woke up at 6 a.m. to that sound loudly in my room for 10 minutes, couldn't place it, couldn't figure out where it was coming from, looked around, and then just had to go back to
How was it happening for 10 minutes?
So long.
How? Was it getting increasingly louder the whole 10 minutes, or was it going like all the way up, all the way down, all the way up?
Almost like a spiral.
So what was causing it?
No,
you still don't know?
I don't know. I never found out.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm really scared.
Yeah, it really didn't sit well with me either, and I had to just lay my head back down.
That's really scary.
Yeah, it was like 6 a.m. and I was like, am I just up for the day? Is that what this is? And then I was like, no, baby, gotta rest.
I hate that. Well, hey, we can't talk all day about our house being haunted, even though we know now that it is. We got to bring in our guest.
Oh my god. Our guest is an iconic
Comedian?
stand-up
Philosopher?
thinker.
A priest? in our house? Priestess?
You know her from her recent special Girl Daddy, Beth Stelling.
Hey, Beth.
Hello.
I hope all throughout the world there's just little people with their little headphones and just going, Beth Stelling.
Whispering. Beth, how the heck is it going?
Oh my goodness, I'm happy to be here with you guys. What a treat.
We're so happy.
We're so happy to have you.
Oh, got some Scandinavian swimmers. Have you ever had these? Not sponsored.
No.
People keep bragging about them, and I've never had.
It's basically fruit snacks.
Well,
It's fruit snacks.
that's delightful.
What if I didn't understand the concept of like microphones and I was like, have you guys had these before?
We'd keep it. We'd put it out that way. We'd never tell you, and we'd put out the F that way.
Yeah, we would be like, it's fine. It'll just be what it is.
It is hard to tell someone to stop doing something that you don't know well.
Yeah.
You 100%.
You know, like, excuse me, could you freaking knock that off?
We would.
Excuse me.
Neither of us.
Thank you for being here, but you're doing something
Wrong.
wrong. So wrong. So against what we need. Oh.
Have you guys ever had a job where your job was to tell people, like, strangers things?
Yeah. I was a hostess.
Yes, like hostess.
Okay. Yes. I mean, I always worked in food service and
Yeah, it's horrible when I don't know if y'all have ever worked at a restaurant when it's like slammed, but not to brag, the Applebee's in my hometown would get really busy, and I was sometimes the lead host, and you have to like order adults around. You're like 15. You have to be like, let's make the line go this way, and they don't listen. And then you're just like, fuck me, dude. I'm like gonna get in trouble by my boss. He's 47 and he has an attitude.
he
horrible.
has an attitude.
My first hostess job was at my dad's friend's restaurant, and he was like, they would party there every night, but it was in Cleveland, and there's a lot, like, bars have to close at, like, I think it was like 1 a.m. And I was like, okay, guys, it's time for the party to stop. And everyone was just like, okay, loser. And I was like, no, I just like need you guys to. And then my dad would like be there drinking with his friends, and I'd be like,
Excuse me.
Dad, hi, it's me, your daughter. If you guys could like just, yeah, the party doesn't have to stop, but it can't stay here. I'm sobbing.
That's so sad. You painted such a sad profile.
You just go
Beth,
from
please
0
say
to
something.
60 and you're like, I'm calling the police.
Well, that's the only way it works. Also,
Yeah.
if I would like throw a party and it got out of hand, and having to be like, okay, guys, now it must end. It's
Yeah.
like, what a
No,
loser.
that would be the nightmare. I just watched Can't Hardly Wait over the weekend. Like for Valentine's Day, we went to Dynasty Typewriter because they were basically like, you guys are familiar. And
Yeah.
basically they offered like Valentine's Day packages where you could go and like be alone in the theater. So we watched Can't Hardly Wait, and maybe that's one we should actually include and
Add
delete.
to the rack.
No,
Oh,
I mean
delete?
there were some
No, delete
moments-
it.
There were some moments near the end that were huge shockers, but the reason I thought of it in general, because of what you just said, the freaking house that the party's at, the girl is not having fun ever the entire time and is like doing cleanup. There's hundreds of people in her home. They're all 36, playing high schoolers. And she's like, can you please stop shitting in my mouth? Please, I'd love it. You know, like they're ruining her house. And at the end, she's just a complete basket case.
That's like Mean Girls when
Spoiler alert.
her parents come home and go, "Why are
From the
my
1999 film.
African fertility vases under the
Yeah.
sink?"
Yeah.
And you're like, "Oh no, not the African fertility vase."
I once threw a party in my garage so that it wouldn't mess up the house too bad. And I,
That was smart.
thank you. I was like, hose it down. I thought my dad was sleeping. So I was like, but
Wait.
he wasn't.
He wasn't gone. He was merely sleeping. You played a live game of Don't Wake Daddy.
Yeah.
That's what I call all parties, by the way.
Well,
all
that's
parties I go
Don't
to, I
Wake
say,
Daddy.
I'm don't waking daddy.
Well, Beth, I've got bad news for you. He wasn't actually sleeping. He was out. And he came home and used the garage clicker, and it like opened and then it closed and then it opened again. And I was like, everyone in the house. And I like made everyone go into the attic and was like, I won't hear a word from one of you. I went into my room. I put pajamas on over my clothes. I waited in my bed and I waited for my dad to call me. And he was like, Shelby, get in the garage now. And I come down and he was like, what the fuck is this? And I go, I don't know. I've been sleeping. And he was like, what? And I was like,
You gaslit your father.
Well, of course I did. I didn't want to get grounded. So I was like, oh my God, I've been sleeping. And he was like, oh yeah, then who did this? I said, I don't know. I have siblings. I've been in bed. I've been good bed. And he was like, I saw your friends,
Daddy.
Katie and Kelly. And I said, yeah, they were here watching movies, but that's it. And
now
he was
they're in the attic where they live now.
and they'll never leave. And he was like, well, where is everyone? There's all these cars in the driveway. And I was like, oh, I don't know. Those aren't I don't know. They're not my cars. I can't speak to whose they belong to. And then
Were you drunk?
yeah. And then I was like,
just checking.
He just kept being like, this is clearly your party. And I kept being like, look at my outfit. I'm in pajamas. How could I be throwing a party? And eventually he just like gave up and he went to bed and we never talked about it.
What an amazing thing. Dad's not wanting to deal with further confrontation.
Yeah, he dealt with it for a second and then was like,
Dad's not
okay.
wanting to be gaslit beyond belief. I mean, if I'm your dad,
I didn't say there was no party. I just said it wasn't mine. I wasn't like, Dad, look around. This is all a clean garage. It's not like I told him he didn't have a child with a party in the garage. I told him that I wasn't throwing it.
Beth, were you a big partier in high school? Be honest.
I did most of my drinking, I feel like, in 8th grade. I really got it in and out.
When was the first one?
First sip of beer was probably 6th grade, but that doesn't really count, you know? It was like a dad's beer left down there, Sam Adams, trash. And I think the first, like, drinking, which would have been, like, Natty Light, was in 7th grade. Then 8th grade, we drank. 9th grade, but I, like, turned into an adult real quick. And I was like, I do speech and debate. I'm the captain of the field hockey team. I am in a musical, and I really have to take my life seriously. So I, like, really cleaned up my act. But I still drank, of course.
Of course.
I mean, Dayton, Ohio, wasn't much to do, but I didn't drink during field hockey season.
Iconic. Did you also play lacrosse or just field hockey?
Just field hockey. Yeah, we didn't have lacrosse.
Okay. New sport.
But like, so I would say like I experimented the most in those early grades, like 8th and 9th.
Was everyone doing that? I wasn't drinking in 8th grade.
I was.
Yeah.
I said that
and
with
I remember
such
like
confidence.
when you were like saying like just lying straight to your dad's face. I remember my mom was like, let me smell your breath. And I was like, she's like, what is that? I was like, pretzels. It was clearly beer.
There's lots of hops and pretzels.
Pea pretzels.
2 of my friends and I pitched a tent in our front yard and stole Pepper Absolute vodka and a stout beer. And we were like, we're going to drink. And that was in 8th grade or 7th grade.
Yeah, and cigarettes happened too. We would smoke cigarettes on the side of the building.
Camel Crushes.
My sister threw a party while my mom went to dinner. And it was snowing, and my mom saw the hundreds of footprints leaving our home. We had a small house, and our yard was like 2 strides. Do you know, like from the sidewalk to the front porch steps. So it was just covered and matted down. And I remember getting drunk or having a sip of beer. Maybe I can't remember because I was very young, 7th grade when my sister was a senior, and I ate a dog bone to like make one of the guys laugh. And I went up to my room, and my sister's best friend was making out with a guy on my bunk beds, and I like cried or something. I was like, oh God, I'm upset. But to give you an idea of like where I was in that split in life, I still had a Simba comforter, like a Lion King comforter.
Yeah.
And you said, if anyone's gonna kiss in my Lion King bunk beds, it's gonna be me.
It's gonna be me. Yes. Anyway, but I did do that. I didn't really get into too much. Well, we did get arrested at University of Dayton one time in 8th grade.
Absolutely.
In 8th grade?
So the college students that were hanging out with you were fucked up.
Oh, I do believe the frat was suspended from campus because I'm pretty sure my friend hooked up with one of the dudes. I had no
got suspended for hanging out with 8th graders.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we lied about our age, but I was too scared to get touched because I had no boobs from gymnastics.
I did gymnastics. I hear that.
Yeah, I wasn't about to be like, let's see what happens, and then have pecs, you know. So
Yeah, you're not playing like 7 minutes in heaven with no boobs.
Exactly.
I'm still so hung up. The college dudes hooked up with your friend.
I remember the guy's name. It was PJ. Yes.
PJ.
I remember.
Jail.
Like, I remember being like,
the J
"Ew."
stands for jail.
Absolutely.
Prison jail. PJ stands
right.
for prison jail.
And our friends, we got separated from them. They got scared. They were caught walking by campus police or something, ratted us out, like where we were. And in some ways, of course, that was the responsible thing to do.
Right.
But the cops came and got us, took us to the station. I remember the cop slamming the phone book on the table, and he goes, "Call your parents." And I looked at him and I go, "I know the number." Yeah. And so I called my mom, because this is pre-cell phones. Like, at least, like, maybe my friends had them, but I certainly didn't. And, I'm not saying, like, boo-hoo. We were so, whatever the word I'm looking for. It's not like I didn't have anything, but I wasn't the kid that had a car and a cell phone or anything like that, because my mom was a teacher. So my mom comes and gets me, and she was just like, definitely. My mom was the mom that was more scared and disappointed than upset and punishing.
I got picked up by the police for city curfew, and they called my parents, and both my parents said, I mean, we're not coming. So wherever she was going to go is like where she'll go, or she'll sleep in the station. And they were like, well, we're not taking her with us.
That's hilarious.
That's like paperwork. They were like, and so my friend's mom had to come pick me up. And she was pissed. And I was like, yeah, I get it.
Yeah,
I did this too.
You're like, I'm pissed at me, and she's like, I'm pissed at you. I'm pissed at your parents.
I'm situationally pissed off. I'm pissed off at the police. I'm pissed. I was just trying to smoke a cigarette in a playground, and here I am.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, my first kiss was on a playground. Sorry, keep going.
Hell yeah.
Whoa, that's really cool. I want to hear more about that. What year was this?
It was 9th grade. I feel like kind of late. Or maybe it was 8th going
Late
into
from
9th.
all the hard drinking partying you were doing
Yeah,
you were
in the
busy.
4th grade. When you were in the 4th grade drinking wine coolers, I thought maybe you'd just sneak a kiss then. But it took a while.
I did a lot of things out of order. That was after I got my GED, and no, I think yes, it was like a lobster tent. It was like Lobster Fest or something in Schaefer Park, or Crab Fest, and it was all done and shut down. We went there late at night, but the tables were still there, and he was shorter than me because I'm pretty tall and I always have been. And only reason I'm not an Olympic gymnast. Only reason.
People say that, but it's nice to hear you confirm it.
Yeah. We've been reading articles about that today.
So he had me lay down. So we laid down underneath like an old table, and he like kind of laid all of his weight on top of me like this way, and he had braces, and I remember his braces like digging into my bottom lip, and that was my first kiss. And then not long after that, because my friend lived across the street, she woke up one morning, and she saw a man hanging from the playground. A man hung himself. And my friend woke up, looked out of her window, and her parents tried to send her to therapy, and she was just like, I'm fine.
Well, her parents were right. I'll say I'm on the parents' side.
I know.
Oh my God.
I mean,
Sorry, that was a lot I put on you.
No, this is good to know, and honestly, it's a really good segue into why we brought you here, because I decided it has to be. We really need to talk about what you would put on your golden records. What is going on those freaking things?
Honestly, number one for me would be like a falling compilation or people getting scared. Like that's for sure 100%. I can watch those, and they only get better with repetition.
Do you want the small business YouTube compilation some guy made it in his basement, or like American Home Videos episode?
I need the best of the best footage of people truly maybe getting hurt pretty bad. And I mean, like, it's never, you don't want to, it has to be the perfect mix of not death, but not like stubbing a toe.
Yeah.
We don't need something, it has to be like, it has to have hurt a little. A great example would be, even a lot. A great example would be, unfortunately, I do watch The Bachelor and have been watching it with my friend Monica. Mm-hmm. And last night in the teaser, they show one of the girls having gone skydiving, and upon landing with her partner, they hit pretty hard. And we rewind it and watched it probably 15 times.
From the
just
preview.
Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, right onto the. It looks like a face plant.
Have you ever had an embarrassing fall?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, millions. I'm doing one right now.
I mean, I used to fall for laughs. We had a incline that led from the freshman hall to the senior hall, and it had rails along the side, and art and things hung on the wall, and there was display cases. But yeah, I would have all my books and fake fall down that incline and just slide.
Roll, hit my head, break my neck.
Captain of the debate team falls on ramp every morning to start the day.
I did the morning announcements at school. That's how I started our day. God, it was a dream job.
Beth did a really important job at school. First, she would do the school announcements. Then she would go out to the ramp and tumble down it while everyone watched. She said, "Good morning, students of
Oakwood High School."
High School. For lunch today, it's chicken nuggets, and if you'll meet me at the ramp, I will be falling.
I will be doing my big fall.
I'll be falling in about 5 minutes. See you there. Everyone runs from their classroom to the ramp.
Oh, man. A good tire swing fall is great.
Ooh.
Tire swing fall. Like it detaches, the rope breaks?
Usually the person gets real cocky and is at the top and they're like, here I go. And they forget that they've never done a push-up in their life. And they go 5 feet and then into the water.
Do you guys remember that video that went viral of the woman in the shoe store falling out of the heels?
Yes.
And she falls in
I watched
17
it the other
different
day,
angles.
and then someone edited it to make her into a transformer.
Yes.
Like she falls, and then turns into a car.
Tumbles and then she like...
That's going to probably have to go on the golden record.
Yeah. We'll send you a link.
We'll send you a link.
It's really perfect.
2 things. One, Scarred, the television
I have to shut
show.
my door. Sorry, 1 second. I'm
Go
shutting
ahead.
my front door.
No worries. Front door.
Mike, keep this part in.
Leave Beth shutting the door.
Sorry.
Since this will get cut, I have to say Beth
think I
has
would've
behind
done that
her
before?
a folder just called People. Beth,
sorry.
what is the folder behind you that just says People?
I don't know what you're talking about. There's no people.
There's no People folder.
They're in the attic.
Victims. It should be called Victims.
Yeah. You know what's in here? Oh my god, I'm attached. What's in here is just a bunch of scripts.
And they're called People for what purpose?
Yeah. Well, okay, so there's just a bunch of scripts in here, but that sticker, I mean, this is going to sound very name droppy. But you asked.
So here we go.
Buckle up.
Steven Spielberg.
It's from Justin Vernon's place in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Justin Vernon is Bon Iver. Mm-hmm. And he has like a recording studio, wanted to make it sort of like an artist retreat, and he was inspired by this place. I'm going to forget the name of it. But Shelby. I'm going to forget the name of it. But he was inspired by a place he visited in Berlin that was also like an artist sort of commune or something. And it has a particular name I'm forgetting. And they had these stickers, and he got a bunch of them. And that was like his goal for the Eau Claire spot. And he actually painted it on the side of the barn as well. But I think it's about bringing people together. So this is just a sticker from Bon Iver.
Huge
Okay.
name drop. A really, really big name drop from Beth on the pod. Bon Iver, close friend.
Close friend, have his belongings behind me on my shelf.
Love it. So he painted People on the side of the building. The same thing.
Yes, and while I was there, like they brought me, I went in to work on like a little bit of a short film and just provide a little sort of showrunnery type thing, but nothing too serious. It was meant to be like a fun project.
She's talking it down.
Yeah. It was no big deal. I just went and
It's no
like,
big
ran a
deal.
show.
It won stuff like an Oscar or whatever. It was
I
like
was the first woman to ever do it, but it's like I don't really like
it
to
was
pat
like
myself.
so small, so silly. Like funny to even think that I did it.
I kind of blazed the trail, but in like an extremely non-self-important.
People were likening me to one of the suffragettes, but it was like it's like so weird when they do that. Like I don't agree.
Sort of the Betsy Ross of comedy music crossover video thing, but it's not, without all the weird politics.
And while I was there, I walked in, and Katie, who goes by Waxahachie, this musician, was there
I
recording
love her.
album.
We listen to
Yeah.
Lilacs a lot.
Yeah.
And we're friends. And so when I walked in, she was like, Beth? And I was like, Katie? Like, no one told me she was also going to be there. She recorded her album. And then because she was there doing that, and we were all staying there, there's like bunk beds in different rooms. And then when she was done, we all went into the recording studio, smoked a tiny bit of a doob, and then listened to it. And I remember crying because it was just like, I love Katie, and it was like a particularly special album to her. And it was just so cool to be there. And then the neighbors, who were kind of far away, just not middle of nowhere, Wisconsin, but more remote, brought over, because it was around Christmas time, chocolate dipped Oreos that they designed to be like little reindeers. Anyway, this is just all part of the memory. And I ate more than my share.
Cute Wisconsin people.
That's almost too cute.
Yeah.
That almost brackets out of what's allowed to be so cute. That gets really close to the line. It plays really fast and loose with the rules.
So listen, with falling.
Yeah.
I have two questions. Well, no, I have a question, single question, one question only. Have you seen Scarred, the MTV hit show about people falling and really hurting themselves?
No.
Oh.
Maybe that wouldn't be funny to me.
I don't think it is. It's not funny. And that's
Okay.
I was wondering. I was asking because it's like mostly skaters, I'd say. And it's all them trying like really hard stuff and then them getting up and being like, I guess my foot's kind of disconnected now. And you're like,
Oh my gosh.
And
I don't love to see a dangler. Like, I'm not into being
That
like,
show is almost
no.
explicitly.
Yeah.
That show you were signing on to watch 1, a dangler, 2, exposed bone, period. And 3, the kind of stitches that you're like, throw the body away. Like, you can't sew that up. I once was a ski instructor, and one of the girls clotheslined herself on the chairlift line, and she was my only student for the day, so also kind of shit job on my part, but I laughed so hard while I was like trying to get down to get her. And
Yeah.
she got a pretty bad black eye, but it was really funny before.
Yeah. And you can, if you're like me, I do have that photographic sort of memory, so I will replay it and it'll just get funnier.
I constantly do because she got so fast, so quick, and then I couldn't catch up to her, and I'm trying so hard, and then she's trying to stop. She's pizzaing, and then the only thing that could stop her was the string for the chairlift, and it hit her right, I guess, in the neck, and then her eye, and then she wiped out.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think I would have laughed too, as long as people aren't dying.
No, she was fine. Her parents
I'll
were
laugh
like,
at myself too, of course.
Of
Like
cour-
anything scary, near death, silly, a trip,
it's always worse to fall when no one's there to laugh.
Because then it just hurts in silence.
Yeah. And then, of course, like we're saying, there's ones that are too scary or too hard. I fell off my bike, I don't know, a couple weeks ago. And it was, a bunch of skaters were near the bus stop. And it was so hard, they didn't laugh.
That's when you know you're in trouble.
For real.
When the skaters
For
don't
real.
laugh.
Yeah, when the skaters can't laugh, and they've seen it all. When the skaters
they're
don't
like,
laugh. Whoa, now that was a fall.
No, that's what I call a fall.
That's what I call falls.
They're taking tape off of their skateboards, being like, do you want it for your leg?
Like a icy stare. Like,
Oh, good.
or an
So
icy
good.
driveway, even better. Any sort of like, I think the earliest, like, think of Marv, Home Alone 1, the paint cans, they all
Yeah.
fall and he's like, like that will make me laugh.
Listeners, Beth did something with her body. Caleb's now doing it. I
all
can't
rich.
explain it to you guys, but just know that it was fun.
It's fashion. It's
Vogue.
It's Vogue. It's in. It's what's now. It's what's happening. It's what's queer. It's what's online. It's what's plugged in. And because Beth and I decided, look, I'm going to be really honest.
Yeah.
I think we should talk about what else we would put on your records. What
Oh,
else would
okay,
go on
okay. The video I would put on is my niece Charlotte seeing a bunny for the first time and petting a bunny and giving it a carrot. And this was a couple years ago, and I was home in Dayton, and I always go to this bakery called Ashley's Bakery and get like a jelly donut and a bunch of other things. And I used to go there we used to have an hour for lunch, and they'd let us go anywhere. which is pretty crazy. And I would
That is
walk
crazy.
to Ashley's with some of my friends. It wasn't too far. And we would get, the funniest thing, we would just get 2 slices of pizza and like a balloon cookie, which is just like all icing. And that would be our lunch.
I think we have the audio of your niece.
Bunny, bunny. I love bunnies. I never seen bunnies before.
I never seen bunnies before.
I know.
So cute.
It truly can sometimes make me cry. Because you see the video and she's just like the cutest. And she gives it a little carrot chip and it yanks it from her hand. And she doesn't really get scared. She just goes... and then goes to pet its head. She's the kid on the field trip to the farm where you're like her older brother is like away from the ghost, and you look over at Charlotte and she's just like manhandling a chicken. Like, look what I got.
She wrangled it.
Yeah. I don't know why I shouldn't have said manhandled. She's woman handling a chicken.
Thank you.
Yeah.
She's
you're welcome.
girl-splaining to the chicken.
She's girl bossing a chicken.
She is so adorable.
She is so
Yeah.
cute. Mike, our producer, says that the bunny's really scary to him and that he wouldn't have
really?
gone near it.
Yeah, it was in a cage with a little blankie over it.
It has red eyes.
Does it? In the video?
I really feel like it did. Did I make that up?
I didn't
Thinking of
remember seeing it.
Bunnicula. What was that book growing up? It was called like there was a chocolate bunny, right?
What is it? There's a book about a chocolate bunny?
I think I'm older than you, but there is a book about like a vampire bunny, or maybe it's like a vampire for chocolate.
Oh, I remember this. I think I know what you're talking about. It's a big, scary looking thing, whatever it is.
So you are correct. It is called Bunnicula.
Okay.
And it's and it seems like maybe there's multiple of them by 2 different authors. Now hold on a second.
Now hold the phone.
It's a series.
No, wait, just a gosh darn minute.
It's a whole ass series, and it's written by James and Deborah Howe.
As
you
you may know, as listeners may know.
Guys, can I make this personal about me for a second?
Please.
I'm trying to write a children's book right now. My aunt and I are trying to write a children's book together, and we keep coming up with half ideas. Like, you know, one of us will be like, I want a koala that's a chef. And then we're like, there's no moral. Or we'll come up with a moral, but then we can't get it. We're trying to get it together, but it's something I'm working on.
I love it. I feel like better you than one more celebrity writing a children's
truly.
book.
They do
like,
so many.
I
The
do it
celebrities
because
so
I
many.
can.
Later,
like-
Caleb comes into my room sobbing. He goes, Beth said I wasn't a celebrity.
Oh no, you are. You are.
No.
He comes in my room sobbing. He can barely look at me in the eyes. He says,
As soon as this recording's over, I'm going to post on Twitter, hey guys, taking some time off. When people do that, I don't even get concerned anymore. I think it's so calculated.
Of course not. I mean, you don't need to tell anybody you're leaving. You can just leave.
go. Yeah, it's not a party, babe.
I loved that back in the days of Chicago when people were like, I'm quitting stand-up. We'd just be like, all right, see ya.
have a good one. The Bunnicula series had 7 books. Okay?
That's so many.
They're named as follows. And there is a winner at the end, but a lot of them are boring. Bunnicula, A Rabbit Tale of Mystery. So they kind of just told you what you were getting at that one.
Yeah.
Holiday Inn. Now I'd have to read that because I don't know what that has to do with bunnies. Bunnies don't howl.
It's for kids.
The Celery Stalks at Midnight.
That's cute. You have to admit that's kind of cute.
Yeah.
Nighty Nightmare.
Whoa.
Return to Holiday Inn. So sequel to the first.
Go
the second
throwback.
one.
Yeah.
Bunnicula Strikes Again.
Right.
Throwback to the other first one. And then Bunnicula. This one's my favorite. Bunnicula meets Edgar Allan Crow.
That pissed me off. I can't say why that pissed me off, but that did
I
piss me off.
know. It felt like, how dare they?
dare they?
Bunnicula meets Edgar Allan Crow.
Yeah, that made me mad, I have to say. I'm feeling more at peace as time passes, but there's definitely some residual sort of rage about that.
Yeah, well, I
Beth,
had to tell you. What did you
Would
want
you
me to do,
put
hide
these
it?
books on the records or no?
No. Absolutely not.
Would you delete them or just like let
Someone is
them
knocking
exist?
at my door. Who is it? Oh, I did.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh, hold on. Sorry, I'm on a podcast.
It's her Postmates.
Get them to do it.
One
It's her
second.
Postmates.
So Beth's Postmates just arrived, and I don't think she's going to have them in to say something on the pod, but I really wish she would.
Oh, they've come to my house. Okay, I ordered more. It's okay, I'm on a podcast. Did you already start eating them?
No.
Oh.
But they've been sitting there a while, so they feels like it's soggy, but I didn't know what was in the bag. So I
Yeah,
opened
just leave them for now because I ordered more, so hopefully they'll be here. And if not, I'll call you. But I am on a podcast, so I have to go.
Sorry.
Sorry, I'll knock if I need them. I mean, what the hell? It's hard for me to be nice sometimes when it comes
Who was
to
that?
neighbor.
Your neighbor.
My neighbor, yeah. It's
You
a
should have
lot.
had her in to be on the pod.
You guys would have. It would have been one of the biggest regrets of your life. I mean, you can still hear her. Jesus Christ, it's too much.
What did you order? Also, I need to know.
And do you have more coming in multiple
Yes,
orders?
I have more coming. Because I said, I reported it to Postmates and said they weren't delivered, and I didn't tip the girl. Because I thought, where is it? It's not here. She left it upstairs. That's not my place. I don't know what to tell you.
I don't live there.
So now I feel bad that Elizabeth didn't get a tip, but I also didn't get the sandwiches. She's saying...
So how many sandwiches total do you have coming?
I ordered 2 sandwiches, I ordered 2 chips, and I ordered 2 drinks.
And so now we have 4 sandwiches, 4 chips.
But she said they've been sitting there for a while. And I'm like, did you hear me? I go, did you open them?
You did. And then you just kept saying, I've got more coming. I've got more coming.
Did you hear me? I was bragging about being on a podcast.
Yeah. I'm on a podcast, so I have to go.
Things are really crazy for me right now.
I'm recording a podcast. I can't talk to you right now about delivering my food to me. I've got more coming.
I mean, I bet Elizabeth's pissed. But guess what, Elizabeth? Freaking get your head on straight and look at my door that says the number. And I have a freaking paper sign taped to the pillar so people don't get confused. I mean, what more can I do? That's on Elizabeth.
That is on
Call
Elizabeth.
me. You know, like, call me if you need help finding me, right?
Elizabeth, if you're listening.
Yeah. Apologies. I tip well when the sandwiches make it to me. And not to Mindy upstairs.
Elizabeth, you're off the records. Mindy, you're on because we overheard you on the mic.
I mean, it looks like delivery by 6:13 from Hatem B.
Okay. Well, I can't wait to see if they can get it right.
I mean, I got the freaking curtain open right here. Of course I'm going to order more sandwiches. I didn't get them.
I once ordered, when we first moved here, I ordered vegan fried chicken sandwiches.
Oh, this is crazy. Yeah. This was
ordered
crazy.
I ordered 1 sandwich. And then they said they canceled it. So I went to the place and bought 2. Yeah. I was like, well, now I'm going. I'll get 2. I'll have 1 for later because I'm out of my home.
You understand?
Then the delivery came and they gave me 5. And then someone else came and delivered me 2.
What?
I mean, make it make sense.
And for days, it was like, well, I guess the only thing I can eat is
Shelby is one of the most, like, it's one of the least wasteful people I know. So she really, every day for like a week, was like dutifully going to the kitchen and getting another sandwich and being like, I have to eat it.
I'm opening the box. I'm like, guess it's another vegan chicken sandwich.
She's
for
like
me.
sighing in the kitchen. I'm like, are you eating another sandwich? She's like, yeah, it's been 2 weeks.
She goes, what are you making for dinner? And I said, what do I have? Do I have a choice? I'm chowing
I'm like,
down
yeah,
on it.
throw it out, hon.
Tears streaming down my face. I say, I don't have any choice. I have the chicken sandwiches. I have to eat the chicken sandwiches.
This happened to me when right before we moved to LA. My old roommate and I in Chicago, we were like, we want to have a nice dinner before I leave, but we were both so broke. So nice dinner was like quesadillas from a Mexican restaurant. And I was like, I want 4 large quesadillas because it was the same chain as one I usually went to, but I was in a different neighborhood. Anyway, 4 large at the other one meant like 4 medium-sized ones because they weren't actually that large. 4 large at this one apparently meant 4 entire like it basically ended up meaning like 16 tortillas that made 8 quesadillas. And we were moving the next day. So I just left my old roommate with like 12 quesadillas that I couldn't eat. And she
He's
couldn't
like, I
eat.
thought you were freaking moving.
Yeah.
All your stuff out of here.
I just left it. And that's the note we left on because I got it wrong.
And she didn't get to keep that in the fridge because she was moving the same day.
She was moving too. Yeah.
So it wasn't like, oh, just leave it in the fridge. Like, she had to take that to a new location.
Did you put all your stuff in your car and drive together?
Dude,
We drove together apart.
with our moms.
Oh my God, 2020 vibes. Together
And that's
apart.
when it was?
Yeah.
We moved in June to LA. Yeah.
We moved with both of our mothers.
I mean, look, I'm glad you're here, but why would you do that?
Right. It was honestly my fault.
Thank you for saying that. It was.
Yeah, it was my fault. I had made up my mind and I was like, we're going to go. My lease is up. Your lease is up. I'm not letting the pandemic ruin this. It won't last much longer.
Yeah. Caleb said, I remember specifically being like, I mean, I really think it's going to go for a while. And this was like me being crazy. Like, no one knew that yet. It was like, at this point, we still kind of thought like,
And I treated you as such. I was like, oh, get real.
he
freak.
goes, if it's still going by July, I'll be out in the park. I'll be having fun with my friends. I'm not doing this till July. Fast forward to July, he's scared to leave the house, too scared that he'll contract the virus. But he was like, there's no way it's going till summer. You want me to wait inside for summer? Yeah, I'll be outside with my friends.
I still feel that way. I can't believe we did this. I cannot believe we agreed to stay inside.
So once again, kind of pointless move, but ultimately we
Look.
did what we did.
Beth.
Okay, but you're also not in 6 feet of snow. That wasn't a
Thank
fart, by
you
the way.
for
That was
saying
my...
that.
Wait, of course I can't do it again.
Beth just farted on the pod, and we'll note that. Beth, we have to talk about what
Oh my
else you would
God.
put on your records.
I'm almost going to have to rapid fire it for you.
No,
Okay.
we got time.
Okay. You know, I've been watching and really enjoying season 1 of Mr. Mayor. Is that too soon? It's really making me laugh.
Shelby and I were trying to decide if this was
I
too
don't know.
soon. When did it come out?
Episodes keep rolling out, and I think I just watched episode 7 the other night.
Okay, so 7 weeks
But
ago.
I don't have a good excuse, but I was never a 30 Rock person.
I think we're the same.
I was a Parks and Rec person, but never a Brooklyn Nine-Nine person.
Okay.
So-
You are or are not a Brooklyn
Or
Nine-Nine?
not.
Okay.
Again, it's not because I watched and thought it was trash or something. It's just I never really watched
It's
or
a taste
didn't
thing.
try. Yeah, I was a Parks and Rec person, Arrested Development. Anyway, boyfriend has been getting me to watch 30 Rock, and I'm like, I get it. It is very funny. Okay, so and I'm not like I love Tina Fey. She's brilliant. So then I watch Mr. Mayor. I'm like, I get it all. They're very good at writing television, just extremely good.
I love that. I was really early. I was invested in Mr. Mayor because like a year ago, I got an audition for Bobby Moynihan's character. And I was like, it was one of the first auditions I got that I was actually excited about.
I bet.
I was like, this is huge. This isn't just a day player thing. I'm going to get this.
true.
Because you know when you first start auditioning for that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And of course I wasn't going to get it. They were going to give it to Bobby Moynihan.
Honestly, I'm almost positive they wrote the show for him.
Yeah. Like there was no reason to be
And so
auditioning. He's
and to be
perfect.
I was gonna say, to be quite honest, it's like rude that they let you think that maybe you could get it.
Yeah, it's got to be Bobby. He's killing it.
And he's friends with it. Like, it's also just like, it's not like they're strangers and it just happened. Like, he happened to walk in the room. It's like they had to talk.
Had to be Bobby. Yeah.
And I really think this is the best thing he's ever been in.
Really?
I mean, look, I don't mean to rub salt in the wound, Caleb, because something else is coming your way.
Oh,
But-
no, I'm good.
I know.
I'm happy. I'm so happy for Bobby.
But like, think about it. I'm not saying he was never funny on SNL or something, but like him in this role, I'm like, yeah, this is it for you. This is
This
your
is
role.
Bobby. This is
This
Bobby.
is
Bob.
so funny.
Mr. Mayor, more like Bobby Moynihan.
I love talking about him like I'm his personal friend. I've been like, oh, this had to be Bobby. I mean, if I know Bobby, and I think I do, we've never met.
He's someone who I've never really thought of his name as being Bobby. And now that I'm hearing it, I'm like, his name really is Bobby.
Yeah, I guess when you don't put them when they're not together, it can start to get weird.
It's like,
Yeah.
Bobby Moynihan.
yeah,
Bobby?
to like see him, like, imagine seeing him somewhere and being like, Bobby, hey, that doesn't seem correct. Do you know what
Yeah.
I'm
I see
Oh,
what
yeah.
you mean.
But if you say, hey, Bobby Moynihan, it goes together.
Yeah,
saying? Yeah.
yeah, like Jack McBrayer.
Jack McBrayer.
Yeah.
Never call him Jack.
He's a Jack? He's not. He's not.
This is Mr. Mayor is basically, and this is how my boyfriend described it. It's LA 30 Rock.
Ooh,
very funny.
that's a nice pitch for the show.
Yeah.
That's how they should be
probably
selling
how
it
they
to
sold
people.
it in a literal email for millions of dollars. Hey, got a new show. 30. Oh, a light went on.
Is it your sandwiches?
It could be, I'm freaking out.
I'm really
you're
invested.
twitching a little.
We can't stop the recording until we know what ends up with the sandwiches.
You're
course.
itching
I'm
for
over
those
here.
sandwiches. You have 2 of them already.
I'm over here.
You're
but
itching for the other 2.
Yeah, but the upstairs neighbor has touched those. I mean, we're still in a pandemic.
She said she didn't open them. Do you not believe her?
She felt like going through files, like went through each ingredient and was like,
She shuffled the sandwiches like a deck of cards.
Guys, she mentioned that they were damp.
She knew they were damp.
No, she said they were out there for a while, so it might be a little soggy. How do you know they're soggy? You're fingering the sandwiches?
You're accusing her.
Her parents are the landlords, by the way. She loves
She's a child? How old is she?
Speaking of, look, I would if I wanted to torture myself, I would put the voicemail from her parents on the golden record. I mean, they're like the Seinfelds. I'm not kidding. They're constantly yelling. When I got the apartment, they left me a message so excited that they were giving me the apartment.
It's hilarious for you to be whispering. You're in a mic. You're recording yourself.
We're gonna put this out, Beth.
She's not a fan. She will not listen.
You're sitting there. And so then she said into
We're
your
gonna
mic,
release
into your mic.
this.
Guys, she might be sitting up right waiting to give me the sandwiches. She's probably sitting, waiting for the podcast to end with the sandwiches in her lap. I want the fresh ones, is what I'm saying.
I hope she gets them. I hope she intercepts the second delivery. I hope she gets them and brings them to you and says, hey, second ones are here. They're only a little less soggy.
One of them's crisp. The other one I took.
It could use salt. I didn't touch them, but it could use salt.
Okay, her parents inadvertently gave me a compliment when I got the apartment. So they left me a voicemail, like, letting me know that I won. Okay?
Yeah.
And then they think they've hung up. And you can hear the husband be like, I don't know, it's a comedian. And she goes, but it's a successful comedian.
That's huge for you, though.
Yeah,
Huge for me.
Massive.
Massive. It's on my website.
Yeah, successful comedian should be the title of your next special. Hello.
Girl daddy,
that.
successful comedian.
I should just play that at the beginning of my new special.
Yeah, play the voicemail and then walk off. Say you all came to see a successful comedian, and you did.
And you did, Grace.
You're welcome.
What else is on
Your record.
your record?
What else is on your record?
I guess I would have to say, I'm dipping into the ones that I didn't narrow down. Oh, I wanted to say my mom sent, but that just felt weird because I'm not like a freak for my mom.
Well,
A little.
yeah, you
Ready? I'm
stand.
a little bit.
It's
of
okay
a
to
freak for my
stand.
mom.
Yeah. Hey, stand your mom.
What does
know
she
why?
smell like?
When I'd have to leave my mom to go visit my dad for a month in the summer, which is so long for a kid. And it started at 6. I mean, to be away from my mom home with most of the year for a month. So my mom would spray her perfume on my little bunny rabbit and then also pack me cotton balls with it sprayed on there when the stomach ran out of the bunny.
Okay.
I'm just huffing my mom's perfume at night so I can sleep in my dad's home on an air mattress in Orlando, Florida.
And then she says, I'm not a freak for my mom.
Yeah. My mom had to send me with cotton balls dipped in her sweat for me to go to school every
Freak
day.
for my mom.
What if I got
had her
extreme? What if I
stuff
went
her
from
bra
0 to
and-
60 of rage and I was like, you need to edit this out?
We would do it, by the way, and we'd be like, no problem, Beth, we're so
I
sorry.
love my mom.
No problem, but
podcast
we would
just-
keep the audio for us.
Our podcast just got canceled. And she was like, it's okay. I'm okay with it. And then after we recorded the last episode, she was like, I thought it was okay, but I'm a little sad. She like really took it on her. No. Like the equivalent of like parents telling their kids the divorce isn't their fault. I had to do that with my mom in a podcast. It's not your fault.
It's not your fault.
Do
You know,
not
we
your
never,
fault
you
we
don't
got
know how these
canceled.
things are going to pan out.
you want the aliens to think that your mom is their mom? Do you want them to know that it's your mom? How do you want them to
Do you just want it to be a smell with no name?
Maybe it should be like a photo of me and my mom or something.
That smells like her.
That's with her scent on it.
Doused in her scent.
A photo of you and her, and
Like
she
Elle
carried
Woods.
it under her arm for
And a
6
couple,
weeks.
I don't know, maybe a couple fingernail clippings and some hair.
Just in case they have
Arranged around a
cloning.
candle.
Oh, God.
Okay. So then a scent and some toenail clippings for your mom.
No, let's cut that. Not from the pod, but just from the list.
The records, okay.
Let's just say a photo of me and my mom when I took her to Hawaii for her retirement from teaching. And that was a very fun trip. So some photo like that.
I love that.
Wait, guys. We have to take a break.
Oh my God. Okay, fine. Hopefully the subs are close. If there's blood on my door, it's from Mindy upstairs.
There's blood on your door?
How old is she? How old is
She's an adult. 30s.
It would be so funny if she was 8. You're talking so much shit. She's
I love how,
14.
like, did you get to hear how adamant I was? I was like, I'm on a podcast.
And that's so much funnier if she's 8 years old.
I'm not kidding you guys. You know when you're in therapy and you check your phone to make sure you haven't called the person you're talking about?
Yes.
I'm just going to double check she's not outside.
Okay, just so the listeners know, Beth is walking around her property.
You know, I told them to please replace this, but they wouldn't, and so I cut this perfect cardboard. But look, this is right to the outside. That's a mailbox. For someone listening with subs in their lap.
Beth, where do you live?
Like I'd tell you.
Say your address on the pod.
Dox yourself. Dox
It's
yourself.
going in the
girl.
chat. It's going in the chat.
Okay, got it. Just so you know, Beth just messaged us, go to hell, I would never tell you my address.
You sick fucks for looking.
Okay, look, what else would you put on your records?
Okay, fine.
Fine.
Let's see. I guess video footage of me and my friends in 6th grade, like doing a music video. But why would I want to relive that? I don't know. Maybe
You
it was
want them
fun.
to see it. You want them to know.
Yeah, like this is what was going on. We would like put socks in our bra, and I remember my best friend Fiona. Like we didn't let this go for years. She said we were all like, you know, I think I was Baby Spice. No, I was Jerry, the redhead.
Sure.
Yeah.
Which Spice is that?
Jerry is Ginger.
Thank you. I was Ginger
Hey,
Spice.
anytime.
And she was Baby Spice. And I remember Fiona saying, after we all like shot this video on Marie's camcorder, Fiona was like, isn't it funny how I'm the smallest one, but I have the biggest boobs? And we were all like,
Yeah, that's funny.
yeah, that's really funny, Fiona.
So
Yeah,
funny,
we never-
Fiona. You've
we
nailed
never
how funny
let
that
it
is.
Wait, Fiona, you're killing it. Have you ever thought of a career in comedy?
Oh, dear.
So Fiona goes on the records, in my opinion.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, we should show you.
A picture?
We should show you a picture from the original record.
Okay.
And this is real. Oh my
It's
God. I
real.
know
It's
I've
really
done
on the
something.
originals.
Okay. Wow.
So
What
this
a
is just
brag.
called Mountain Climber on the records.
Okay, well, it looks more like a loose stag. Is that a term?
Stag.
I don't know, but
Stalactite?
Stalactites and mites.
Mite. Tight
one's
for
which?
top, right? Mite.
Oh, there you go. You're right. You're so smart.
Stalactite. Thank you. Love to do that type of thing in school. What if I'm wrong?
someone will tell you.
One of the images on the original records is titled Mountain Climber, and it features Gaston Rebuffat.
The image was taken by photographer and cinematographer George Tyrez. He was born in 1900 and lived until 1975.
Gaston is actually on the line of hot and not hot.
Some people would say he's a perfect 5.
Some people would say he's a 10, others would say he's more like a 3.
Nobody would say he's a 0.
nobody.
In fact, there may be no people on Earth who are zeros.
I struggled to think of one person who would be referred to as a zero, personality not included.
We do not have a photo of George Tyrez, so it is hard for us to determine if he is fuckable.
We don't know if he's hot, but he is a photographer and cinematographer, which at least leads him to be
Halfway there.
halfway there.
The photographer, in terms of being hot, was halfway home.
We hope he was as hot as his hobbies.
One thing that one has to consider when you see an image of somebody hiking on the records is, what do we want to say to aliens about hiking? Is it good? Is it bad? Is it necessary?
Is it just something we do to prove that we can?
There are times when humans hike because they have no other choice. There are times when humans hike because they have all the choices in the world and it's the thing they chose to do.
A friend of ours recently said they think some hikers are just serial killers who found a way to channel that energy.
Perhaps this is not an image of a man hiking, but an image of a man not doing serial killing.
This picture makes me angry. Does anyone else feel similarly?
Yeah. I can't, and Beth, I would really welcome your expertise on this.
Okay.
I can't tell if the guy's hot, so I can't tell if I care about it.
I'm going to zoom in, and that's a great point that you're making.
I zoom in and he is so in shadow, it's almost impossible to know.
It is impossible to know. I'm going to say it's a no for me on
Yeah.
rock climbers in general.
Yeah.
So,
He also has a high waist.
He has a high waist and like tights under his pants.
Yeah, exactly. He's wearing those, what are they called? Pantaloons with
I
tights.
think they are
it appears.
pantaloons. Yeah, I think those are pantaloons.
And he's
Like the
actually
bottom
wearing
half.
heels, believe it or not.
It does, isn't he?
I mean, what
He
if
looks like he's
the-
wearing like those chunky heels from 2010. There were wedges. Jeffrey Campbell made 1,000 of them. They were like platform wedges. That's
You're
what
right.
it looks like he's wearing.
Oh my God. And he has like, I'm trying to look here.
If he wasn't so tall, his bottom half would be identical to that of the leprechaun from the movie Leprechaun.
Terrifying.
Terrifying.
You're right.
The heels
know,
and the little pants.
It's tough to tell. The top I don't mind, but it's definitely tucked in. And then is that a hat or is his hair
I think it's a newsboy
mushroom?
cap. I think it's a newsboy cap.
Okay.
This is a mushroom.
I think it's
A little bowl cut.
I can't for the life of me figure out how he got up there.
He has the rope, so it's like, is he on belay? Did he?
But if you look in his hand at the rope, it's not very long. How did it?
Yeah. Ooh, I'm seeing something here.
Is it the?
It won't let me
Go on.
zoom in too far. I'm restricted. But
They
there
don't want
does,
us to know the truth. The government's behind this.
you know, look, if you look like bottom left near the bottom of the stalagmite, I mean, it's rock, everyone.
Oh,
There is some sort of rope, it looks like,
Wait.
that leads up and around.
Beth's a detective. You're so correct.
Yeah. So I can see where it's...
So then, did he walk
Leading
up
to
that
him.
face after that? Because it doesn't continue.
Yeah. I know, I
doesn't
mean, like,
seem hard.
by the way, it doesn't feel like...
It doesn't
Really?
feel like what, Beth?
Doesn't feel like, say he were to fall off the edge. That's still going to be like... boom, and then it would like really catch him hard, you know? And he'd be like free falling for a while. Oh my God, sorry.
But then it would snap him so hard that it would break stuff.
Yes!
He would go like if this was his body, if my arm was his body, he'd go like it would go like that.
Yeah, put that in the fall compilation video for me.
I'm starting it with you almost falling out of your chair.
Also, I just want to ask, is there any update on your delivery?
Oh, believe me, my eyes are on the gate. I'm
Got
having
one eye on
trouble
the gate,
paying
one eye on
attention.
Mindy.
One ear on Mindy. Look, we've come a long way. I don't want her mad at me. I think because I started being more kind, she's stomping less. So I just want to keep peace. But man, her mom's wronged me several times. We don't even want to get into it. She's freaking actually a cruel person. At first, I thought it was Mindy, but it's actually her mom who is cruel. Like, I was like, because when I first moved in, even her mom was like, oh, my daughter's upstairs. Kind of eye rolls it a little, like she's a little off. And I'm like, so I'm on freaking team mom, team landlord, team Sandy. That's the wrong side to be on. And then one time I heard them scream fighting. And I was like to the point where it was out of this world. And I was filming something for Comedy Central here at my desk. It was like following a comedian around, and we had to like stop filming, and everyone's like, are they okay? Anyway, that's when the tables turned. I was like, obviously it's her mom patronizing her, gaslighting her, a full nightmare. Then one time she comes into my house. Sorry. She comes to my back door. I don't even know what it's looking for. Oh, I know. I finally discovered that the window on my back door has been painted open, and I didn't catch it. Are these my sandwiches?
Beth has now picked up her computer.
Okay, we're gonna insert a bunch of cheers.
Yeah, I think this is it.
Beth is masking up, sprinting through her house.
Yeah. Oh my god. Okay, hold on. I gotta get the mask on.
Take the headphones out of your ears. Take the headphones out of your ears.
Oh no, she's taking the computer with her.
Hey! For Beth?
Yes.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. It's heavy.
Okay, got it.
Oh, it's heavy.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm gonna.
Thank you. Fucking good. We get to eat these sandwiches untouched by Mindy. I mean, look, they made a lot of food. What do you think? What do you think the better sandwiches would be? These ones or the first round? I wonder if Mario's Italian Deli was like, again?
Didn't we just make this order?
And look, I'm the type of person who, to be honest with you, it's gonna haunt me that I didn't tip Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
of
totally
course.
understand where you're coming from.
So what do I do? Should I go back and retroactively tip her?
Can you do that?
Can you?
But then I'm just like tipping a woman for effing up? People make mistakes.
You are having.
I'm having a real time.
Well,
Takes
it's so funny to hear you talk yourself in and out of it. You're like, well, no, people do make mistakes, so tip her. But at the same time, it's like, is this encouraging bad behavior? It's like training a dog.
And look, if you saw what she looked like, I'm just kidding.
I was like, oh, okay.
No, it was hard for me because I don't even want to get into it. She looks perfect, is what I'm saying. Looks like she's had a perfect life. Okay.
Oh, one of those.
Okay, love that for her.
You put the sandwiches upstairs. You said fuck you. You fucked up. I never got the sandwiches. You take a picture of them in front of Mindy's door.
Did anybody order any sandwiches? Yeah, but that's something else.
I can't tell you how much we're gonna release this episode, but every time you whisper, I'm like, Beth, it's going to the world.
I know. I'm sorry. You're right. Okay, but
Don't
Oh no,
apologize
we're
to us.
excited.
We're
we're thrilled.
I mean, this has been more about my landlords than I thought it would be. But I discovered the door was I'm so sorry. The back door is painted open. The window's painted open. So I text him. Oh my God, you guys. Also, I was blowing fuses like crazy when my toaster oven was on or my dryer. And I noticed that when I blew the fuse, and I said, hey, I'm blowing fuses like crazy. And they blamed me. And we're like, well, then don't frickin', it's an old building.
Use stuff. Yeah.
Don't push it. Finally, I'm a detective over here. I noticed that.
You asked Mindy how many things she was plugged into.
I said, no, I was like, she was running a juicer upstairs real loud. I was like, am I linked to hers? I noticed that when my dryer went out, the back parking lot for everyone in the building light went out. And I was like, I think I'm paying for the entire building's nighttime parking lot.
Oh.
They said no. 6 months goes by. I go, I'm telling you. I think because I'm blowing the fuses, they hired an electrician to come. Because you can hear everything in this building, which is why I'm whispering, even though it is going out to the public. I listened when the electrician came from my bathroom, and he was like, she's right. The entire parking lot is on her breaker. And I hear the mom go, well, what do you think we should do? And I'm like, pay
And he
you
says,
back?
I don't know, she's a comedian. And she's like,
A successful one.
She can afford it. But anyway, so they took like $400 off my bill, but not before yelling. So this is when she's yelling at me in the back of by my back door. I've let this woman in my house, which I never should have let her in. She's yelling at me like how it's a vintage door, and she's so upset that she has to replace. It's such a shame. We like to keep everything vintage. It's such. I go, well, oh, I mean, you can. She's like, but no, we can't. We can't fix it. The window's painted open. It's a shame. And I'm like, okay. And I start crying because she's yelling in my face. And I was trying to get ready for Lights Out with David Spade, so that gives you an idea. It wasn't long ago that I cried. And I was writing jokes sitting at my desk, and then she comes to knock on the back door and is yelling at my face that it's such a shame that we have to get rid of the door, and how I complain too much. But I had been complaining about sound because I didn't notice that the door was painted open because she put a curtain over it when I first moved in. My bad for not noticing it for 2 years, but I was on the road for at least 1.
2 years.
Anyway, she looks at me and I start crying and she goes, "You need to get help." What? And I go, "Do you want me to leave? Like, do you hate me? Like, should I leave this apartment? Should I move?" And she's like, "It's up to you. It's whatever you want. It's, you're month to month." And I'm like, I go, "I'm a good tenant. I'm clean. I pay on white. I can't help that you painted the back door
for the
open.
garage for a year.
I'm paying for for all the back parking lot lighting." And then she goes, "All right, you're clean. You're a mensch. You pay on time. No hard feelings."
Oh, it sucks to hear she's a Jew.
And walks out. And I'm like, no hard feelings?
I have
the
some.
hardest feelings of all time.
My feelings could cut glass.
Yes. Like, I will never trust you again, and I don't want you near me, and I will avoid you at all costs.
I honestly, I hate to say it, I think we do have to put your landlords on the record.
And listen, Beth, it's not because we think they rock. It's because we're kind of like, they need to know.
Yeah, we
what's
have to make an
happening.
example of them.
I have the voicemail, but I'm currently recording my track into my phone. I don't think it'll play.
I think it might be illegal to play it anyway.
Really?
In the state of California,
Probably
right?
on some level. I'm sure somebody on Headgum's legal team would be like, "Sorry guys, it's funny, but
Better not.
better not."
Oh, God, this really took a turn, and I'm sorry I made it about them.
Oh,
I
we're
cannot
thrilled.
thank you more.
We do.
To scream in someone's face and tell them to get help after you've just merely told them that you're paying for the entire building's lighting and that your door's painted open.
Before we go, I do want to say, number one, perfect episode. I would not change it, and I mean that from my heart. But number two, we wanted to ask you, is there anything in all of humanity on Earth that you think is so embarrassing we should delete it? And before you answer, we just want to tell you it doesn't have to be war, famine.
Right.
The
obvious is we'll take away.
Well, they're gone.
Take those out.
Yeah, they're gone.
We'll delete
Those are already gone. We've taken out the things that you first go to, and we've added world peace just as like an addendum.
So that
I
all
can
being
think
said,
of personal moments I'd love to scrub, but I think humanity, I think it would be best to delete white dreadlocks.
oh yeah,
Thank
That would be
you.
best.
that might be the best deleted so far.
I think it
And
is.
do you know how many people would thank me? Like, they'd
Yeah.
be like, "Thank you, because I have been dreading those photos getting released." Like, if we
Dreading.
wiped it, I've been white dreadlocking. I've been white dreading those photos getting released.
White dread. There's a concept.
God.
That's basically, that was the New York Times editorial after Trump won. Just white dread was the theme of all of the interviews was white dread.
Yeah, that's such a good delete it, because the people that would be upset, I don't care for.
No.
And the people that would be grateful, I care deeply for.
So there it is. White dreads. I love that. There is one musician that I like, and I'm not going to say his name because I don't know if he's white or not.
I'm just kidding.
Do what?
Keep going. I don't know if Citizen Cope had dreads or not. I really pulled that
Does
out
his
of
name
my
start with
butt.
a T?
No.
Okay.
I don't know if he's white or not, but he has dreads, and I keep every time I see him perform in a video, I'm like, if you're white, I cannot stand. I just need to Google it. I need to Google this singer race. Because white dreads are such a turnoff.
It's just the fact that it's also among other things, the obvious things. It's also, how do I say this? It's the epitome of it's not for you.
Right.
It's because your hair isn't meant to do that. That's not for
Right.
you. So the fact that you had to try
so much effort
hard.
to get a white person's hair to do that.
Yes.
Right.
And-
the effort should let you know that you shouldn't be doing it in this case.
It's just not for you.
It's just, hey, it's not. Tapping someone on the shoulder. Hey, it's not. You're not meant to have it.
Yeah. I mean, I would be curious about their argument. Someone with them's argument. Like, what would
We'll
they
bring
have
one
to
on.
say?
We'll bring a white dread on to argue with you.
And we'll just say, hey, guys,
It's
Part
not
two
a
of the Beth
trap,
Stelling
but
episode.
we do want you to come on and argue your case.
we want
For
you
us
to
not
plead your case.
shaving
We'll
your
also
head.
hear from you about other things if you want, but a big chunk of your time will have to be spent defending yourself, if that's okay.
I mean, look, I don't think the point we're saying is like somebody be like, well, I mean, I had him, I just didn't know, or whatever. It's like, we're not saying you're a horrible person, but like, aren't you thankful if we delete it? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I think you would be.
I mean, surely it's going to be hard to get rid of them. So if we did, like once you've done it, even if you start to regret it, it's you'd have to shave your head.
Right.
Yes.
So it's like, maybe if we just delete it, they'll be like, I've been trying for years to find a way out of this, and I can't because I've gone too far.
Oh, we're offering them a
out.
hand up.
Yeah,
And not a
we're
hand
saying-
out.
we're saying, listen,
Yeah.
You want out, we want you to get out.
Yeah,
that's
we're here to
nice.
help.
Well,
Beth.
Beth, I think that's it.
Thank you so
Much.
much.
I took the golden record so serious, it was tough to choose, but
You gave us so many good things to pick from. Thank you so much for doing it.
I enjoyed hanging with you. And thanks
We
for
are big
being
fans.
moral support during the sandwich debacle.
Duh.
Any time. Next time your sandwich gets delivered to the
What
front
do you-
door, give us a call.
What do you think I should do? Like, should I tip Elizabeth? I'm so... I
Do
feel
you want to know
bad.
what we would do? Because I think
Yes.
both of us would go back and tip.
Both of us would go back and tip.
I will.
But I don't think you have a moral obligation.
I don't think
to.
you do either. I just think both of us would let it eat us alive. Caleb
Well,
scratched my car the other day.
Me alive.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
no.
he talked about how it would have been possible for him to lie about it.
Yeah, I thought about lying. I scratched Shelby's car driving it, and I really thought about lying, but I was like, you know what? It's
better
just going to
tell
be
her.
too hard on me. to
And
do
so
that.
that kind of thing is how I know he would also go back and tip. Because
Yeah.
I would have.
It's about me, not about her. I
Yeah.
would have to do it for me.
Yeah.
I will go back and tip. It felt like a roller coaster because I am mad at Elizabeth. But the food is here now.
But you don't have to tip her well. You just
Yeah,
have to
I'll
tip her.
I
Throw her
will.
a
I'm
fiver.
going to tip her. I'm gonna.
Throw her $5.
Thank you for just being a sounding board for this sandwich situation.
Beth, we're really huge fans of yours, and
So
we'll
true.
always be here for you, to be honest.
Thank you. Thank you. I can't wait to share this episode. Put it on a burned CD and leave it up at her door by the rotting sandwiches.
We're going to find Mindy and make sure she listens, just so you know.
I'm looking up. I'm pulling out a telephone book and looking at anyone named Mindy
And we'll work our way through.
and Melinda and anything that I think might also be Mindy. And I'm making some phone calls. We do a grassroots marketing policy here. Anyone that might know our guests gets a call from us.
Do I have to go? Okay, I got to deal with this now. Go up and tell her to just keep the sandwiches and the chips. Okay, we have to go.
Bye, dude.
Okay, bye.
That was a Headgum original.